Nature is playing a very dirty trick on us to keep us reproducing. It's playing a very, very dirty trick. I keep on saying that it's very weird that we are reproducing because we are compelled to, not because we have asked ourselves, what is the best thing we can do right now? Is it to bring more people? Or we should not think of bringing more people here now? It's not how we'll be thinking. I've said this in one of my recent videos that people reproduce because they feel like they need to. You see, it makes them feel good. They feel like, okay, if I reproduce, I'm gonna feel better than I feel now. Or my marriage is gonna be better than it is now. Or I'm gonna have an unbreakable bond with this person. It's always out of selfishness. It's not like a person is like, yo, I want to do something great for the world. The world is so good and I want to do something great for it. Let me have sex and bring a child and raise it and take care of it. Make sure that the child is well raised so that they will do positive things in the world. It's not how people be thinking. But some people reproduce without really wanting to. That's why I said nature plays a very dirty trick on us. If you're not gonna bullshit yourself into reproducing, nature is gonna trick you. Or at least try to trick you. The fact that we must feel horny. The fact that ejaculating is very nice, especially for us men. Women don't necessarily need to orgasm because it doesn't really do anything, but we have to orgasm when we have to reach orgasm. We have to ejaculate when we're having sex. Why? Because if we don't, then we won't reproduce, right? So nature makes sure that we have sex until we reach a point where we climax, and after climaxing, because your job is done, you just sleep. You just feel tired because it tricked you. It doesn't give a fuck about you anymore. You see, that's how it works. That is why it's so hard to turn down sex, and that's how you should see that you are being tricked. It should be obvious to you that actually this must be a trick. Why is sex so nice? And after having sex, why do I feel so tired? Why do I feel like I don't even want it? Is it something that's even worth it? And why do people get pregnant? Why do people get pregnant? Even if they didn't want to be pregnant, they just got horny. Why can't they just have sex for pleasure? And you might say, well, there are condoms. Yeah, but that's not natural. Condoms are man-made. In nature, there isn't a way of preventing pregnancy. You just can't have protected sex. Nature doesn't give us that option. You just you just have sex and reproduce. That's how you should see that something is wrong. That's how you must see it. Because the world is full of suffering, and it is through this dirty trick that more and more victims are being born. I've said that some people are tricked by their own selfishness. Some people are tricked by nature itself. If there are people who are not internationalists who are watching this video, they are probably thinking, damn, what's going on? What's wrong with this guy? But here's how I know that antinatalism is the only way. Here's how I know, without any doubt in my mind. Any. It's impossible to debate the truth. Think of any situation where the truth was brought up. It's either the person that hated the truth became angry, or they tried to ridicule you for speaking the truth, or ridicule the person that was speaking the truth, or said nothing, just or act all stupid. But they can never come up with an argument against it. Even the most outspoken people cannot debate the truth. What I've seen people do is act all surprised when they watch an internationalist talk about antinatalism. I've watched some few reactions on YouTube of people who were reacting to antinatalism but who are not internationalists, and they never say anything. They just act surprised, like, wow, I don't even know what to say. I'm shocked. This ruined my day. I can't believe this. I can't believe that there are people like this in the world. Yeah, I'm watching this video because I want to hear you come up with a constructive argument against antinatalism. I know you'll be shocked. Yes, you will be. I know you'll be angry. Yes, how else are you supposed to feel? As a selfish human that wants to keep on reproducing, how else are you supposed to feel when someone is telling you that that is selfish and it's immoral? What emotions should you feel? What I want to hear is an argument against antinatalism. No one has ever come up with an argument against antinatalism. Even Jordan Peterson, when he was debating with Benito, Jordan Peterson doesn't usually lose debates. If you watch his debates, you'll see it's either no one loses or his opponent loses. That's how good Jordan Peterson is when it comes to debating. And he's right about some things, by the way. It's not like he's always wrong, right? Because a lot of internationalists just don't like him because he is a natalist, and he always tell people to have children. He thinks that that's good. he really lost that debate against Benetton. If you haven't watched the debate, watch it, please. He lost. He he didn't come up with any argument against antinatalism. You see him beating around the bushes. You see him trying to avoid the main or responding to the main argument that Benetton was bringing forward. You just can't come up with an argument against antinatalism because antinatalism is the truth. You can't debate the truth. It's impossible. You only can react to it. You only can show us that you don't like the truth or you are not ready for the truth. But you can't debate it. And that's how I know without any doubt that antinatalism is the truth. Because what arguments do you have against antinatalism? What argument can you bring forth? What argument do you have against the most obvious reason to become an internationalist? That the reason is that you cannot get consent from someone before they are born. So why bring them here? Knowing damn well that there is a chance that they might not like it. Knowing that damn well that there is so much suffering. So how can you justify bringing them here? Well, it's a natural process. People have said that before. You just be like, so? We're not asking you what process it is. We're asking you to justify bringing people here. That's it. Because there is so much suffering. Once someone is born here, they are fucked. They'll start crying. Why do they start crying? Because they are in hell. And they'll cry a lot. A baby will cry a lot. Without even knowing what to do. Without even knowing why they are in pain. They just cry. Until you train them not to. Because we've made crying a bad thing in our society. Like, yeah, you cannot cry, you should not cry about this. Crying is for weak people. Men shouldn't cry. Stupid, man. It should be obvious to everyone that this world is really evil. It's very easy to see. The fact that you are being tricked to reproduce should show you that this world is fucking evil. You shouldn't be tricked to do anything that is good. You should just be told the truth. That this is a good thing because of 1, 2, 3, and then you do it. There's absolutely no need for you to be manipulated whatsoever. But they got us. Just being manipulated. We're just being manipulated. To become woke, man, is to realize how you are being manipulated. Guys, I think a lot of people should watch Matrix Resurrections. A lot of people are giving it bad reviews, but there's so much to learn. There's so much to learn. Every time you watch it, you actually realize that there is so much to learn. One of my favorite part in the movie was when Neo met the analyst for the first time after waking up, and the analyst told him how he was manipulating him and Trinity. That dialogue was crazy. I mean, you should watch it, man. I actually have to give my own reaction on that movie. I have to, because a lot of people gave that movie bad reviews, and I feel like there are some things that we're not looking at. So I have to talk about it. I have to give it a review. But the analyst was talking about how humans were being manipulated through their emotions. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know, I'm so proud of people who have realized the truth, because the process of getting there is hell. The process of getting to the truth is pure hell. To really understand antinatalism, you must truly have went through hell. There are people who have gotten there much more easily, or much more easier than other people, but generally the process is very hard, you know. And even after becoming an internationalist, you still have to awaken again, and it does get harder. But there are certain levels of consciousness. Once you reach these levels of consciousness, even when it gets hard, it doesn't feel as hard as it would if you weren't woke. You see? So I'm really proud of people who are speaking the truth, man. Because we are in this world where we are being manipulated by forces that we do not understand, by forces that seem way bigger than us. How do you beat nature? How do you beat people who are creating technology that we do not understand? What are these people? How are they able to do these things? I want to talk about technology, because I think a lot of people are not talking about this enough. I want to talk about people who are able to create these things. People who discover new things. People who invent new things. I want to talk about these people. in ways that I don't feel like our society perceive them. I want to talk about them in ways that I've never had anyone talk about them, because I do search for people who talk about technology in ways that I feel like they should talk about it, but they don't. I want to talk about how I think all the shit that is happening in the world is really by design. It's not random. There are people who can create the stuff that they're creating. You know, the people who can create the internet, people who can create cars, people who can create weapons in the world, because if they didn't exist, it would be much easier for people to hear the truth and just understand it than it is now. Now I'll talk about this in other videos, because as I'm thinking about it, there are lots of points that I want to make, but I'm like, that's gonna shift me away from the topic that I'm talking about today. Yeah, nature is tricking us, guys, and it's really sad. Sometimes when I see a person who doesn't have much producing, I really feel sad, because you look at the person and you're like, man, they don't even think that hard about things, you know. It's just a person who just goes with the wind, man, and I just feel sad for the babies that they be bringing here. And you just see without any doubt that these people are victims, you know. I really, really feel sad, man. You see a woman pushing a wheelbarrow with a baby on the back and 2 children walking beside her, 2 young children, and you'd be like, yeah, come on. This can't be right. And people might say, well, if you ask these kids whether they like the fact that they are here or not, do they wish that they had never been born? And they will say, no, we don't wish we weren't born. We like it. We like it here. And that's true. That's true. There are a lot of people who are suffering a lot, who would say that they want this. But I've asked you this question in one of my previous videos. Are people who are addicted to drugs really trying to detach themselves from drugs, or they actually like being addicted to drugs because they feel like they have nothing else? You see, once you become addicted to this, it feels like it's the only thing that's there, and it must be preserved. So you just become one with this world, and you start wanting the things that this world wants on so many levels. You are being programmed to want the things that this world wants, and you are also genetically programmed to want the things that the world wants. And that's why it's very hard to wake up, you see. But that should be obvious. That should be obvious. Have you ever watched these movies where someone had superpowers and they were able to control people? They were able to make people do things that they wouldn't do unless they were possessed. Like in this actually, I want to give you an example in a movie that with a movie that you all know, but I can't think of any movie that I feel like many people have watched. But a person becomes possessed and they start working with the enemy. They start working, or they start doing things that they wouldn't do. So the villain finds a way to possess the good guys and make them the bad guys. And they start defending the villain. And they start thinking that the villain is right. That's how this life is. Once a person is born, they just think this shit is right. Because, like I said, we are in a fallen state of consciousness. You become dumb, basically. You become stupid. So you just want this shit. You see? It's like being drunk and you start doing a lot of dumb shit and you start thinking, yeah, well, this is what I want to do. And people will be like, no, man, don't do that. Don't do that. It's stupid. You are drunk. Be like, no, I want to do this. I want to do this. It's only when you are sober that you realize, oh, shit. What the fuck was I doing? You see? We're in a foreign state of consciousness. This is madness. Let's wake the fuck up, man. Fuck the designers of this matrix. Fuck nature. Fuck people that are trying to manipulate you. People that are trying to make you think that this shit is all that. It's not, right? All this shit that you see is meant to make you perceive this world as something that is positive, but trust me, it's not. It's not even close. It's 100% evil. Thank you, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Let's keep on pushing the movement. It's Benedict times the vegan. Peace.